Everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Bart Curtis Show. Since we didn't play football last Friday, we have got some time to go around and talk to some people about Tiger football as well as some other things that are going on around Warsaw Community High School. Our first stop is going to be at the athletic office, where I got a chance to talk to our brand new athletic director as well as the assistant athletic director and, of course, the two ladies that make the whole office run. So here's what they had to say. We were going to get a chance to talk to the folks in the athletic department because behind the scenes of making the football program, as well as I think, by the way, this is the athletic director, Matt Binkert from Warsaw Community High School. And first of all, I never have officially welcomed you on camera because you're a new guy to Warsaw and made a transition from Oregon. So welcome. And I guess, Matt, the first question is, how's the transition been going?
Well, thanks, Dave. You know what? The transition's been absolutely wonderful. It's everything and more as far as what we expected here, as far as our entire family living in Warsaw, working here at the high school, and just it's a great place to be.
Absolutely. Well, I know, and of course, I don't know how many people know, but you come all about 2/3 of the way across the country from Oregon to be part of the Warsaw family, and I'm glad that things are working out really good for you. Some of the things that you see here, as far as it goes to being athletic director of Warsaw Community High School, some things that you see as the positive things that are going on around here.
Yeah, there's quite a few. That was one of my interests when I looked at this opportunity, this opening. Number one, as far as you have really all the ingredients here at Warsaw Community High School in this community to really lead a championship athletic department and programs. You have great leadership, you have great community support, you have great coaches, great kids, great families, and the resources and facilities and the resources that you need to be successful and be one of the top programs in the state of Indiana.
Let's talk about the scope of what goes on at the athletic department, because a lot of times people just kind of take it for granted, but there's like 19 varsity sports, 21 I forget what the number is now, that this athletic department obviously is surveys over it and takes care of every one of the aspects that go on with each one of the programs, and that's a big job.
Yeah, it is a big job. Unfortunately, I have a great support staff, to help out with that, as far as just overseeing and making sure everyone is getting the support they need as far as all the programs. And it's exciting to, excuse me, to have all these different opportunities for our students here at Warsaw. We have over a half, if not 2/3 of the student population involved in some type of sports or athletic type of program here at the school, and so we're very, very thankful that we have the opportunity to be able to offer so many programs to the student body.
Well, we're going to get a chance to talk to your support staff here in a little bit because we're going to talk to them on camera too. But you think about, and people don't think about it, but every aspect, like just moving a team from, like for instance, in a week and a half or so, we're going to go to Chesterton, moving a team up there, making sure you got bus schedules there, making sure that we get the kids some food to the kids, and then of course, contracting officials for contests and all of. The list goes on and things, and I don't think people a lot of times understand that what the scope of all of this is. And then when you multiply that times whatever 19, 20 different sports, it's a full-time operation.
Yeah, we're definitely not bored around here, I can tell you that. So,
for sure.
Yeah, no, everyone, like you said, everyone knows what their responsibilities are, and they just get the job done, and we each work together as a team and collaborate, and making sure that we just double check to make sure that everything has been taken care of, scheduled, making sure that we have buses, officials, like you said, talk to the parent liaisons, the coaches about food for the kids and just the overall experience, and then like I said, and how do we continue even the support our fans and making sure that we come to games, we kind of turn these into events and just make this a great environment to be for everyone. Even at our home events that we have control over.
Right. Let's talk for a moment just about. I don't want to take up much more of your time because I know you are busy, but let's talk about kind of the long-term goals, or as you see some of the goals for Warsaw Athletics and for all the things that we do around here.
That's a great question, Dave. I know this, as I talked to our coaches, I said our winter sports had actually all a coaches meeting just last week, and just kind of laid down as far as kind of our campaign, our vision, our direction, and I was talking a little bit about the kind of the 5 pillars of things that I want to focus on to help us go from great to irresistible as far as the athletic department. And one of those things is just about leadership, and then just as far as equipping and training our coaches and understanding the importance of being great leaders and creating a great culture as far as environments for our student athletes, as far as servant leadership. Obviously, another one as far as the pillars is the student athlete aspect of it, and making sure we understand and give the students the support they need academically to make sure they're successful in the classroom. The athlete development weights class, strength and conditioning class, is a really important piece in all this as well. Absolutely. And so just with Brian Akers yesterday, our strength conditioning coach, we'll be meeting on a weekly basis as we develop as far as that program, what that looks like, more opportunities for our student athletes during the school day to get in the weight room, be speed, agility, quickness, and those types of things.
Sure.
And then, like I said, honest accountability and feedback. We have some, feedback forums as far as some surveys from our student athletes, from our parents,
right,
as we want to, hear from them and take a look and making sure that we're meeting their needs, and just having that in place, I think, is an important aspect as well. And then just working together as a team as far as kind of synergy. The definition of synergy is the sum is greater than the parts.
Right, right.
Or from an analogy of a sports analogy, you look at a basketball team, you have 5 individual athletes who are great athletes, but you have 5 who work together as a team. Absolutely. And maybe don't have quite the athleticism, but they actually winning the game because they're working together in unison as far as that part. So that's what we want to be as far as a team. Sure. Here at Warsaw.
Well, Matt, thanks a lot for spending some time with us here. And I think, in my many years of being involved in athletics, I think the greatest thing that we do with kids as they come into the programs, both the men's and women's programs, is not only are you going to become hopefully a better athlete, but overall, the bottom line is you're going to be a better human being. I mean, just to be able to serve and to help other people and to be leaders, as you've talked about, I think that has always been something that's been inspiring to me as a athlete, as a coach, and all those kind of different things that I've been involved with it there. And so we certainly appreciate your leadership and appreciate coming in and giving us kind of a fresh look and a fresh perspective here to Warsaw Community High School and specifically Warsaw Athletics. So thanks for being with us.
No, thank you, Dave. Like I said before, it's just an honor to be here, and just to really appreciate what this school and the community and the leadership has to offer. So.
Well, thank you once again. We're going to be back. We're going to talk to some of the support staff, assistant athletic director, as well as the 2 ladies that make things happen around here. Yeah. We're going to talk to them, and as we continue with this special edition of the Bart Curtis Show. And welcome back to another edition and a special edition of the Bart Curtis Show. And as everyone knows, we aren't playing football this week because we're going to buy into next week and when we play Chesterton. So that is why we're talking to the athletic department here at Warsaw Community High School. And these 2 lovely ladies are Amy Berg and Leslie Jackson. And they are the ladies that make things work around here as far as it goes to all of the stuff that I was talking to Matt, which you guys saw in the interview just a few moments ago, about what goes on around here. So ladies, welcome to the Bart Curtis Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's start out and talk about just, all the madness, because as we're sitting here, the phones are ringing, there's people coming to the door, there's student athletes that are involved, parents are calling. How do you guys do all of this? And Amy, we can start with you since you're the elder statesman here. Because, I didn't mean that in a negative way. It's just that Leslie's just kind of the new kid on the block, right?
But she is older, but yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've been here. There you go. Now we got that clarified. All right. Let's talk about you guys share your different job responsibilities, that kind of thing.
Yes, I have a lot of Post-it notes because you can't keep it all straight, so you just make notes and you just go from there, one step at a time. But yes, a lot of phone calls, especially we're in a transition now from season.
Yeah.
So now we're into basketball tickets. So
Right.
just getting seat request changes and things like that.
Right. And then, of course, Leslie is the new kid on the block here. Are you just kind of like following Amy's lead, or what's going on there?
I'm trying the best I can to learn the ropes around here. Yeah, I'm just paying bills and trying to learn the coaches and how the system works here. And
So that's kind of your responsibilities. You or one of the things you do is like sign the checks or pay the bills and stuff?
That's correct. And do transportation for all the teams.
Oh, wow. And that's another thing I was talking to Matt about here. There's so many things that are going on. Just when you move a team, like we got to move a football team, which is about 75, 80 guys, plus coaches and all the stuff that goes along. We got to move them to Chesterton in about a week and a half, and there's a lot of things involved in that.
Absolutely.
Along with the cheerleaders.
Right, along with the cheerleaders. We can't forget them either.
Feed
So,
them. Yeah, we got to feed them and.
Yep. So it's a big challenge, I know, to get all of those different things done here, and that's just one team, and you got to multiply that times 19 different teams or whatever the count is now. I think it's like 21 teams, or anyway, that are involved in the IHSAA and all that kind of thing. All right, so biggest challenge, I mean, this isn't something that you guys just leave at the end of the day, too, because, I mean, it's almost, you get people bugging you all the time. I know I'm one of them that bug you guys. Say, hey, can you guys help me with this? And, of course, you guys always do there. But, some of the biggest challenges that you see as individuals here as being part of the athletic department team?
Probably, like you said, it doesn't end. You just don't clock out at 3 and it's over. It's
Right.
you might have a half-hour break and then you're coming back for the event to set up the event, the workers, making sure someone's there to run a clock, or
Sure.
the officials
Yeah.
are getting fed after the game, or just
Yeah.
someone that needs assistance is getting the assistance they need. So
Right.
it never stops.
And that's the thing, too, people don't, you got to contract officials to be at each game. I mean, even when it comes time to, like football there, sometimes we have to ask people out of the stands to come and run the chain gang, and that kind of thing. So, Leslie, as again, the new kid on the block, what do you see as the biggest challenge for you as coming into this department that's kind of wild and crazy here?
Again, learning the process, how they work, making sure I communicate with everybody, where we're at, where we're going, what we're doing,
Right.
and how we're going to do it.
We're very lucky, though. She came from another athletic department, so she knows the lingo. It's not
Right.
like everything's brand new. She has done fabulous just stepping in.
Okay, well.
I've had a good teacher.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, ladies, I'd like to thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. I know you guys are big fans of the Bart Curtis Show, and you watch it all the time, And Coach Curtis is kind of on a little bit of a break as far as goes to being in front of the camera. Of course, the kids were working hard at it, and so were the coaches this morning at 6:30 under the lights this morning.
When I came.
Yeah. So, at any rate, it's a busy time, and as you said, we are making a transition here. Hopefully, we can go deep into the football tournament. I know we got a cross-country team that won a regional just recently, so
Girls and boys.
so they're going to be off to the races. Should I say that? Is that the right way to say? So we wish them the best of luck, and all the sports teams too. And were it not for you guys making things happen around here, things would come to a screeching halt. I know that, and we all know that. And there's the phone ringing, so that's a good cue for me to get out of here. Thanks for being with us. I really appreciate everything you guys do, and we'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show right after this. As promised, we're going to talk to Jeff Hamstra. He is the Assistant Athletic Director here at Warsaw Community High School. And Jeff, thanks for being with us here on this special edition of the Bart Curtis Show, which I know you're a fan of, as hundreds of thousands of people are throughout not only the country but the entire world. But at any rate, we've been talking to everybody else about the things that go on here at the athletic department, and it's really almost mind-boggling. People, if they came into the office, wouldn't, I don't think, realize just how much it takes to run an athletic department, especially one this size.
It is. It's a lot of work. We've got a lot of great people in this office. You've already talked with Leslie and Amy. They do a great job of making sure Matt and I do our jobs. And then we've got a lot of things that happen here over the course of a day. I'd like to say I can come in and tell you what my day is going to look like, but it's never ever the same. That's for sure.
Right. Well, that makes it kind of exciting too, to some degree, because it's always changing. I know as far as it goes to teaching and coaching, that's the way it is for me also, and always has been that way. Let's talk about some of the major things that you have to deal with here, and I know there's many of them, dealing with as many varsity sports as we have, and then you got really 3 divisions. You got varsity, junior varsity, and you got freshman level. So, and all of them have got schedules, and the list goes on and on. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So I take care of now that Brenda has left. I take care of the scheduling for each team and the scheduling of officials for each team.
Wow.
So we've got, as you said, 20. I believe it's 21 or 22 different sports now that we handle, with unified track and field and unified flag football now as a part of our athletic department. And then most, if not all, not all, but most have the 3 levels of freshman,
Right.
JV, and varsity. So it's over the course of the week we can have a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff that we have to make sure gets taken care of, and you know, the athletic director's worst nightmare is you show up to a contest and you see 2 teams come,
Right.
or you see 6 officials show up, or
Right.
no officials show up. So as long as when the game starts, I have the right number of officials and the right number of opponents, we're in good shape.
Right. Well, I got to say, you know, in my career and being involved in that, you know, maybe I could certainly count on one hand the situations where that's happened. I mean, as far as it goes to buses being late or officials not showing up, you know, rarely does that happen, and that's a credit to what goes on in the athletic department, no question about it. So, what do you see as far as, I asked Matt this too, about the vision as far as it goes to what's, as we look forward to Warsaw Athletics, I mean, what are some things that you are thinking that we want to improve upon, or, you know, or take on as challenges, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know what Matt talked about, but I know some of his plans. We're looking at an athletic department auction. I don't know if he talked about that.
No, he didn't.
Looking at some fundraising opportunities, especially in the athletic department. And then from a team type standpoint too, I want to continue to tighten up our vertical, I call it vertical alignment, but working with our lower levels to make sure our youth,
Right.
our middle school, our high school teams are aligned
Right.
well.
And that's hugely important. That's really, really important.
Yes, that we're teaching the same stuff, that we give kids opportunities. We don't wear out kids, but we give them opportunities to participate if they choose to take those opportunities.
Right.
Those are some big things for me. And then I think continuing to tweak our schedules, you know, where we can balance out home away events, and then getting our teams out when they need to get out.
Right.
Getting down to Indy, getting out to Fort Wayne, getting up to South Bend, even getting over in the region, giving our teams those opportunities.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, thanks a lot for being an integral part of all of this, as all of you guys, and then talking to all 4 of you that really make up the team that does deal with Warsaw Athletics and all the different facets of it. We really do appreciate it, all the efforts that are being made there. And as I was talking to Matt, too, and to the ladies here, you know, one thing that I think an overwhelming drive behind the athletic program here is not only are we going to help them to develop as athletes, but they're going to develop as good people, good human beings that are taught to help each other and to work as a team with one another and that kind of thing. And I think that's a credit to, again, to the athletic department and to the leadership that you guys show, the coaching staffs and the teams and the athletes and all the different variables that are involved in putting together an athletic program.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this, is we want to make kids as good as we can make them, whether it be in their sport or being as a person. You know, I want these guys and gals to be successful fathers, husbands.
Absolutely.
To be contributing members of society, doing whatever they choose to do.
Right.
And then and being great parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want them to be. I want to see their kids in however many years be Tigers, and see mom and dad out supporting their kids and that type of stuff. So, to me, that's the most important part. We want to make these kids as good as we can make them, and athletics is a nice venue to be able to put them in positions where you're going to have to handle difficult situations. And,
absolutely.
And hopefully prepares you for your next step.
Very good. Thanks for being with us today, Jeff. We really appreciate it. And this is going to bring to a close this segment, this particular segment of this special edition of the Bart Curtis Show. We've got some other surprises for you that we're going to be talking to some different people about some different things too. So stay tuned for more of the Bart Curtis special edition of the Bart Curtis Show. Welcome back, everyone, to the special edition of the Bart Curtis Show. Since we aren't playing football this Friday night, we have been going around and talking to some different people. And tonight it's our pleasure to be speaking to the First Lady of Tiger Football, Sarah Curtis. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know you're a big-time watcher. I mean, you know, and along with thousands of other people that are tuned in to watch the Bart Curtis Show each and every week. Let's get down to it here just real quick here, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time because I know you're making a bunch of food for us coaches to eat, and I don't want that to delay at all. So, but anyway, can I start with saying, how did you guys ever meet? I mean, when did that happen? Or do you want to talk about that, or when did that happen?
Well, we met in a homeless shelter in
really?
Chicago.
So, wow. Okay,
She drugged me out of it.
I was going to say, Coach was in a homeless shelter? No, go ahead.
No, we were in class together at Bethel College, both of us wrapping up our education degrees.
Okay.
And we had a multicultural educational class that took us to Chicago
Okay.
in a homeless shelter.
Uh-huh.
And
So that's where you ran into Bart then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So was it love at first sight, or did he have to woo you a little bit here?
He probably had to woo me a little bit.
How long has it been?
Pretty gruff looking.
Oh, was he? Yeah. He probably thought he was one of the homeless guys, right?
They tried to, instead of me helping serve, they tried to
serve you.
Said back of the line, sir.
All right. So, and how long ago was this? How long have you guys been together?
Oh, let's see. 30 years.
1987.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So a little over 30 years. Okay. All right. Everybody always wants to know, and it's a legitimate question because I've been around this game for a while too. And the wives have to sit through a lot of stuff. Okay. The first thing they have to do, obviously, is get used to the schedule. And you've had to move like how many times? I mean, that's number one, right?
Right. We've moved four times. Started out in South Bend.
Okay.
Little rental house.
Right.
Fourth move, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
And we got a phone call while we were
Look at the camera.
living in this
You're doing great.
little rental house I think it was in the evening, and phone rang, and it was
Well, we had gone down that day, that night.
yeah, that's true.
And then we got back.
So,
Okay.
yes, to Mechaniqua.
Mechaniqua, okay.
Yeah, so we received a phone call from
Right.
Mechaniqua High
She
School.
was teaching in Elkhart. I was teaching at New Prairie.
Oh, okay.
We actually lived in Mishawaka,
Right.
ironically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what grade level were you teaching?
Second grade.
Oh, you're saying elementary education. Okay. Okay. All right. So you get a call to go to Mechaniqua because you've been down there to interview, and
We were so excited. We were
Really?
jumping up and down, if
we
you
were
can
excited.
imagine.
yeah.
Back then,
Bart-
there was no cell phones.
Right.
There was no internet.
Yeah.
there was a TV that had 3 channels.
Right.
Channel 46.
Absolutely.
I don't even know if our
And-
TV
and-
worked at the time.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah.
And we drove down, interviewed that night. I think it was my second interview, or was it my first one? I forget.
Yeah.
And we came back, and Ron Wilson, who ironically lives over on Winona Lake,
Oh, really? Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
super-
Yeah. Okay.
was the superintendent at Mechaniqua, former head football coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we got back that night, and he called us and offered us a job.
Wow.
And I was very happy at New Prairie. We had just started teaching there.
Right. And you were an assistant there, right?
I was. She was in Elkhart,
Just for 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year,
Very PE teacher and
phys ed teacher, and O-line assistant and defensive ends
Right.
coach.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too that struck me as I watched you guys move to Warsaw, because I know how deep the ties are, and that's true for a football coach and their family. They just weave themselves into the fabric of the community, and that's a tough thing to do to move away. And I know I'm not telling you anything, but I hope people can understand that when you become such an integral part of the community, that makes it really tough. And you guys have done it like 2 or 3 times there, and that probably never gets easier, right?
It's very difficult. Probably more so for her.
Sure.
Because every place we've gone, she's developed friendships,
Sure.
work relationships. Obviously, we're close to her family. Her folks live in Niles, and this last one was probably
Sure.
the most difficult for her. Probably the easiest for me in some regards.
Right.
The one that was the hardest for me, and maybe the easiest for her, was from New Prairie, New Carlisle
Oh,
to
yeah.
to Mishawaka. That one was tough on
Tough,
me,
yeah, sure.
emotionally.
Sure.
say it was easy for me, but
Yeah.
maybe a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very
Yeah.
emotional time
Sure.
for him.
It is hard, Dave.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you
Now, I've never
think about when Durham left.
Oh yeah.
About
When Ted
Beaver
left, I cried for
Warsaw.
3 days after
Yeah.
Ted left. I cried when Derman left too, but those were tears of joy. So I mean, yeah.
So you develop, and we've been blessed that I had a great superintendent, a very wise former football coach at New Prairie, Dwayne Wrightson, who had won a state championship in Colorado and Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
And I remember him saying, when I went and I told him, hey, I think I'm going to take the Mishawaka job. And at that time there were 5 classes. Mishawaka was the biggest class.
Right.
And I remember him saying, the neat thing, he had that Minnesota accent.
Right. Yeah.
He would always say, oofta,
Okay.
oofta.
Yeah.
The neat thing about moving around, and he had moved around several times,
Sure.
is you develop these relationships.
Sure.
And it hurts when you leave, but you've got lifelong friends.
Right.
This was before the Facebook and
Sure.
the Twitter
Oh, yeah.
thing. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that we've developed deep ties in Mishawaka. New Carlisle, we still have.
That's when you ran into that Germany clan up there, wasn't
it
it?
is. And our next door neighbors were
Yeah.
like grandparents to
Yeah.
our kids.
Sure.
And she still keeps in contact, and I do as well with
Right.
people of Mechanic-Wausau.
Sure. Yeah.
It is. It's almost like being a Methodist preacher.
Right.
Because they move about.
Sure,
every
a circuit
7
rider.
years and-
Yeah.
Yeah, we go about every 10, it seems
All
like.
right, Sarah, let me ask you this question. Okay, you're sitting in the stands, okay, and you're hearing criticism about your husband, and people don't maybe necessarily know who you are. How do you?
Usually from her.
Anyway, but seriously, I mean, has that ever been kind of tough for you to deal with, or not?
Yeah, I always get that question.
Yeah, sure.
And I really have not had to deal with that too often,
Right.
which has been a huge blessing. But not too long ago,
Yeah.
we had a fan in the stands shout something out that
Really.
it really,
Bothered you.
really bothered me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started to
Yeah, yeah.
stand up
And your daughter.
and my daughter placed her
Grabbed her.
hand on my knee and said, "Mom,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
it's okay. You've
it
been here
is.
before."
And those people
but-
pay their $6.
Well, yeah, I know.
And they want to see us do
Yeah.
well.
Well, sure. But they don't, and it's been my experience, they don't know what they're talking about.
okay.
I mean, you know,
It's okay.
This-
They've watched it. Here's the deal. I don't know much about Zimmer Biomet,
Right.
Ticomet,
Right.
what are the
Whoever did to you, whoever
I
might be.
don't.
Right.
So I'm at an unfair advantage.
Right.
So if I want to complain about your knee implant
Right.
and your hip implant, I'm not as educated as these
Right.
guys who have watched football on
for-
TV.
Yeah. On TV.
Yeah. So
Right.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
I don't have the advantage
Right.
of doing anything but
Right,
this.
right.
And I tell my parents at the parents meeting, and we've been blessed to have great
yeah, we really
Right,
have.
right.
We really
great
have.
parent support.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job.
Right.
I'm not going to come and say, hey, are you sure that is the way you want to sell that insurance policy?
Right. Sure.
Shouldn't you be leading them down the, shouldn't you be getting them a universal package
Right. Yeah.
versus a
Instead of
term?
term life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, please let us do our job.
yeah.
Trust us with your kids.
Right.
And I would say 95 to 99% of the time we've had.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah, and being around you just for the last couple of years too, I mean, the kids are treated fairly, and you tell the kids straight up. I mean, hey, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you the truth, and you're going to be treated fairly, and that's the sign of a great program and a building of a good program,
Firm,
and that's
fair,
what we
and
see.
swift.
Absolutely. So.
Now, she has had her moments.
Oh, really? Do you want to let us in on one of these?
will. I
Okay.
The regional championship game 2006. Now, she's missed 5 games out of the 323. that
Right.
I've been a head coach.
And she missed that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's incredible. Just missed the Concord one. By the way, we want to talk to you about
Yeah.
that, young lady. But
We
anyway.
are under 500 when she's not.
Right, sure.
But we are in an emotional. I've got a great team.
Right.
Norwell has a great team. They've got the big quarterback that played in the NFL. Went on to play at Northern Illinois,
Right.
and it is an absolute quagmire.
Oh, really?
And we're up on them 14-6.
Oh, wow.
And
Well,
we
it's rainy. It's
rainy,
cold.
sleety, muddy.
Thick
Sure.
mud. Yeah.
Right.
And then they get it together, and they're pounding us pretty good. And I'm trying to get all my seniors in
Sure.
regional championship game,
Absolutely.
and they're just running the ball,
Oh, yeah.
trying to run the clock out.
Right,
Well,
right.
They break one and score.
Oh, yeah,
she
sure.
did not take too long.
Well,
So one of my assistants
Yeah.
has her in a bear hug because she's going after.
So Mama Bear was going to go after him, huh?
After Jeff Miller from Norwell. To this day, I've only told him this story one time.
Right.
You're a lucky guy. But I hear words come out of her mouth that I haven't heard since she was in labor for our first son.
Okay, well.
And then she almost got kicked out of the sectional championship game at South Bend, Washington.
Oh, well.
That was a whole nother deal.
Another deal there.
Got into a shouting match with a fan across the field.
Oh, really? Okay.
Most of the time, she's
Well, I mean, you the thing is though that makes that legitimate in my mind is you see what's invested in
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
And you know you are invested in this, you know, neck deep, if not deeper. And people don't get that.
Right.
That how deeply invested you are in the program, and when someone wants to step on the program or insult the program or the coach or whatever, you're going to be defensive of. There's no question about
I
that.
do yard work one day a year.
Right.
It's after the last game's loss.
Okay.
And we got beat by Maryville in the regional championship in 2009.
Right.
So I want to do anything to get my mind off.
Sure,
So
sure.
I'm helping her load up branches and things like that. And we're going to take them down to the city
Recycle
dump
center,
recycle center in Mishawaka. And I've got a football sweatshirt on. She has one with her son's number on it.
Right.
Who now coaches with us.
Sure.
And the guy there says Mishawaka. He wasn't even at the game, but we went for 2.
Right.
Didn't make it.
Okay.
Lost the game. And he says that coach should be fired. Going for 2. This is the playoffs. What a dumbass.
Yeah. No, he said you should be shot.
Oh, really? Wow.
And maybe at the
Mishawaka, that-
So I can feel it. I can feel the embers.
Well,
coming
sure.
up, red faced, all that. And she looks at him and says, I'm married to that dumbass. And he looks at me and I said, I'm the dumbass for 2. And
Did he back away pretty quick then?
she
yes.
got after him. She got after him.
Yeah.
And
He nearly lost his job, too.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
that wasn't that big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
It was just
Well-
bad timing.
Yeah. Right. Bad timing.
Bad timing.
Yeah.
on his
Yeah.
part.
We had just beat Penn twice
Yeah. Sure.
in school history.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
So-
Yeah.
we had a really good
But
season.
everybody knows more football than I do. So.
Well, yeah. Well, hey, listen, Sarah, I want to say thank you, and I know the staff and everybody else, because, you're always taking care of us. You're feeding us, giving us cookies. The dinner for the seniors, we had some film on that a couple shows ago, and what went on there, and that's just remarkable, and, it's always great, and we really deeply appreciate it, and appreciate you, everything that you do for the program.
Thank you. I do really, really love it. I do enjoy being a part of it. And that's what's difficult when I do hear negative comments.
Sure.
Because I do get really attached to the kids,
Sure.
the coaches. I
Absolutely.
know how much time they dedicate. And
Sure.
nobody wants to win that game more than those
Yeah.
kids and
Oh, yeah.
coaches. And the last comment that I heard, get your act together, coach.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
really.
mean that 14-hour day that he puts in 7 days a week?
Yeah, really.
It wasn't enough to get his act together.
Right,
So comments like that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Now
I'll
there's
tell
a
you.
couple other funny stories.
Well, let's go. We got time. We got tape. I don't think we're running out of tape, so.
If we punt the ball, she gets irritated.
Oh, really? Oh, so that's where that comes from, that.
If we throw the ball unsuccessfully,
She's not real happy. She's a Woody Hayes fan on
she
that
has
thing.
been known to stand when people say, throw the ball, why are you running up the middle? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
She will turn around after an incomplete pass or an interception and look them in the eye and say,
That's it.
that is what you wanted?
Yeah, absolutely.
She's been with me, and obviously
I bet she could probably call a game without too much of a problem.
she could. She's been raised.
I do love the offense, but
yeah.
I could
She's
not
been
call.
raised. She raised our kids.
Sure,
That's
absolutely.
something that any coach's wife can relate to is we're gone a lot,
Oh, yeah.
and nowadays it's not just August to October or November.
Right.
There are
Sure.
clinics.
Oh, yeah.
So when they say football widow, they literally
yeah.
in some regards mean it. And,
Sure. That kind of thing.
well, she's invested.
Right.
I feel like she is
And raising the kids
a
while.
part of this, and,
Sure.
and we've got 3 great
Incredible kids. I know. I've
And
had the pleasure of
she-
meeting all 3 and work with one
She
fairly
has
closely.
done a great job
Yeah,
because
that's right.
I've been, literally gone
Sure.
a lot.
Yeah.
And, when we do move, she does it all.
A lot of pressure. Yeah. Sure.
She does it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And,
It's so neat, though, when we look back at the communities that we've lived in.
Sure.
So the very first one down in Bunker Hill
Yeah.
had all 4 of our children there.
Right.
And when Coach Curtis Jr. was expected,
Right.
the ladies, the military moms, and the farm moms all got together and threw us an awesome baby shower.
Oh, really? Yeah. Great.
So, those military moms knew what it was like to be.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And, we
I never thought. I mean, I realized that was the situation, but that never crossed my mind. What you're talking about? Sure.
So
Absolutely.
Best, I was a young mom.
Sure.
Get that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a picture.
Okay.
To show you of our first sons. The moms made our O-line coach and our offensive coordinator a practice pack.
Oh yeah. Oh wow! Look at that. Oh my goodness! Get that on the camera so we can see that. There it is.
Practice pack
Wow.
for Michael.
Sure. Yeah. That's great.
Now, that is her and that is me.
Right. Oh sure. Well, yeah. Well, hey.
In some younger days.
Well,
but,
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
she's
been-
still a beautiful woman.
She is.
I mean, there you
I've
go.
not aged as well.
Right.
as she has. But the ties you make.
Oh sure.
She's still in communication with people from Bunker Hill.
Sure.
I think that might have been the toughest
Right. Right.
move for her.
Sure.
Well, mostly because we had all of our babies there.
Sure.
And I had some really dear friends.
Right. Sure.
And,
And in fact, I think one time we were talking, and this is, I don't know, a year or so ago, and we're talking about moving us, and you said, I was very happy at Macconaquah and involved with the whole community and that whole thing. So, but again, like you said, you got great friends there. You move on to New Prairie, on to Mishawaka, now to Warsaw, and just rebuild, build the bonds that are going to last for a lifetime.
We had actually been at New Prairie
Oh, yeah.
for 1 year.
Right.
Left for 6.
Mm-hmm.
Came back as the
Head coach, yeah.
in 2000.
no.
No, 97.
Yeah.
97, okay.
97, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
And
he got the call from New Prairie.
day after Thanksgiving.
Mr. Stevens,
really?
the principal at the time, was so impressed with him when he was there that very first year. Yeah, he's a great guy,
sure.
Chuck Stevens.
Yeah.
And when the job came open at New Prairie, he gave Bart a call. And
Sure.
he was relentless. He
Right,
was
right.
determined to get him to come back
Right.
to New Prairie. I was not
Not
a
that,
happy woman.
really,
I
yeah.
was pregnant.
Sure.
Had
Again.
a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
2-year-old.
Right.
And he left me in this old farmhouse.
Right.
Oh, I
with
forgot
eight
about that.
Yeah. Right.
of yard to cut.
Oh, my
So I
goodness.
would get out on the tractor,
Yeah.
pregnant with 2 kids.
Right,
on
right.
me,
Oh, my
each-
goodness.
Each knee.
I'm not that bad.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to edit some of this out, Bart, and you'll be having people knocking on
Well,
your
here's
door
the
here.
deal. I had to start summer school.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Because Chuck Stevens put together a summer weights. Every
Right,
athlete was going
right.
to take weights. Dermody was
Sure.
on that.
Sure.
And so I had to move back, live with my mother in South Bend. And
And then,
And we
She
lived
had-
in an old farmhouse with no air conditioning.
oh, wow.
I am
with her
Wow.
air conditioner, it was in the
in
bedroom.
the window.
She had to stay back, sell the house, take care of
Sure.
things.
Yeah.
Pack things up, move
Then
things.
She moved to New Carlisle
Right.
after Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
So we went through a season
A month after we
Sure.
where she was
to Brian.
driving up to every game
Right.
and then would either stay at my mom's
Right.
most of
With
the
my
time.
The
folks,
kids,
with my
no
folks,
less.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was, there was some
Oh, that would be absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
fun
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So,
As you look back on it, yeah. Maybe not, yeah,
Dave,
right.
I'm telling you this: the seasons, the longer you're in this, the quicker
They go quick.
Oh,
I agree with you. Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely, for
Here we
sure.
are, we're in the tournament already.
Right,
and
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
in
you
the second
try-
year of it, yeah.
You try to tell kids, hey,
Yeah,
it's a vapor. It goes
Right.
like that. And
yeah,
I mean, this is year 29.
It's amazing.
yeah.
But I have to go back. Our associate principal came over and cut our grass for me a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
It's just
Sure, to help.
the community
Yeah, sure. Roll those sleeves and help.
outreaches.
Who did?
Jim Emmerich.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Who's
But-
assistant superintendent then?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we had Michael, and they had this beautiful shower for us. And then about a year after Michael was born, we lost a baby.
Bart
And
told that story, and he told it to the football team, and it was a very moving story. And I know that's tough stuff. That
Yeah.
is as tough as it gets. So,
As I said earlier, just
Right.
looking back on the
Yeah.
communities that we were plugged into, it's
sure,
like we were at the
part
right,
of yeah.
right place at the right time. And
Sure.
till probably the saddest day of our lives,
Well,
and to
sure.
look up and see the entire football team and
Right.
the cheerleaders all coming to support us at the
Absolutely.
graveside of our
Right.
our daughter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
moving.
Yeah, very moving. So as you can imagine, it was difficult to leave that community.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he was athletic director for a year as well, and we
Oh, you were down there, McConaughey. While you were?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Wow.
we had
Bad idea.
we had the grand idea of serving pie and coffee after every
game.
home basketball.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wow.
Pretty cool,
yeah,
actually.
so
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
make pies, and we'd have others.
I was gonna say you spent a week making pies. I mean,
Yeah, we've
But
done a little
We
bit of
did some
everything.
crazy things.
Yeah.
Had not the Harlem Globetrotters, but what were they?
They were the, what
Oh
were
my
they?
goodness.
The Harlem,
Anyway, a knockoff from the Harlem
Harlem
Globetrotters,
Globetrotters,
and
yeah.
sold out.
Sure.
for a fundraiser for the
Oh yeah. Oh great.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it was, yeah.
Success.
The Harlem Wizards.
The Harlem
Wizards. Okay. Okay.
I think that in combination with being a head football coach and two small children with another
yeah.
one on the way was
Right.
a bit much. So when
Right.
The only time I saw them was if we had, I mean, a home basketball
Sure.
game or something
Yeah.
where swimming meet, wrestling, she'd
Sure.
blow two bugs up and
Right.
bring them out to the concession stands.
Right. Right.
Now, we did live only
yeah,
mile
we were
and a
close.
half.
Oh, that's good that you're close. Sure.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But there were some really, really great times.
Sure. Sure.
And she has been with me every step of the way.
Absolutely.
And very, very supportive.
Yeah.
5 games missed out of 324.
Yeah, that's a pretty good percentage. That's not bad. Well, hey, thanks a lot for spending some time with us here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's great. Like I said, I mean, you guys have a major impact on the Warsaw community and the Warsaw program here, and it's been an honor to watch it and to be a little bit a part of it there. Totally have enjoyed it, and I know everybody else that's been involved. Because like I was talking to a couple other people, the athletic director and stuff, you get involved in the Bart Curtis program, you're going to become a better football player, but you're also going to become a better human being. And that's what's really cool. That's what's really cool.
We
So
try every day.
absolutely.
Successful sometimes, other times not. But it's a process, not an event.
Right, absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for being with us here. We're going to shut down the camera here, and I'm going to get something to eat, and we're going to do a little bowl picking here for our freshmen, or for our
Got the Rookie Bowl.
Rookie Bowl, yeah.
We're going to have rumor has it we're going to have a Wild Coaches Euchre tournament later.
Yes, afterward, I brought the cards,
Okay.
so we're ready for that. Yeah.
And I am sure we will be fed. I'm sure we'll be fed well, Dave.
I have no doubt about that.
We so appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've made us feel so
You have made-
welcome. and
It's
You have made our stay here.
yes,
well, everybody just is, enjoyed the whole process. So all right, guys, we're going to be back with, we got one more segment we're going to do, but I'm going to keep it a secret right now because I haven't really got all the details nailed down. But I think it's going to involve our young Tiger coaches and some pictures from their banquet and things that they did a week or so ago, because that is the ultimate bottom of the feeder program, which is crucial to the whole program.
Lifeblood.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, thanks, guys. We'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show right after this.
Next up, we had a chance to talk to Andy Owens. He is the president of the Young Tigers Association, the Young Tigers football program here in Warsaw. So we had a chance to talk to him. And then a little bit later on, we actually had a chance to go out and see him in action here as they were wrapping up their season with a tournament that they were involved in. So here's that story. And welcome back to the Bart Curtis Show. We've got a special guest on the Bart Curtis Show today, and this is Coach Andy Owens. And Coach is the president of the Young Tigers Association, or Young Tigers Group. And Coach, welcome to the show, and let's talk a little bit about what you do as being part of, a very integral part of the whole Tiger football program, because it all starts with you guys.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.
So, with Young Tigers, we have 3 age groups. We have 7 and 8 year olds who are what we call our rookie tackle. Basically, it's just learning the game, having fun with them. After that, we have age group 9 and 10, which we call our lower division. This is all 11 on 11 football. They travel. They play. We have 8 different areas now in our league.
Really?
Yes.
So
Yep.
they'll actually get on buses and go travel and play other people then?
The parents drive them, but yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then we have our 11, 12, anybody that's in 6th grade. We call that our upper league, and they also travel and stuff. So.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how you got started in this, and then let's talk about the different. I mean, you got to have a lot of people to make this all work too. Other than players, you got to have, parents and coaches and everybody else involved. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'm originally from upstate New York. When I came down with my MS, was put in a wheelchair. Where we lived, everything was all mountains.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my in-laws lived out here, nice and flat.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to move out here. My son wanted to play football, my oldest, Andrew.
Right.
So we found Young Tigers. He played. The next year, my other son, Isaiah, he decided that he wanted to play, and I figured, well, you know what, I grew up playing football.
Right.
So I figured, hey, I'll coach.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got involved.
Okay. All right. And how long have you been involved?
I've been involved since, I believe it was 08 or 09.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's been great.
Mm-hmm. Coach, let's talk about, what your goal is, and your coaches and the people you work around. The goal for the Young Tiger program is fundamentally, what's the goal?
Our goal is, number one, to help out WARSAW football in the future.
At the varsity level, ultimately,
level.
Yeah.
Ultimately, yes. But we also want to teach them leadership, respect,
the teamwork thing. And
teamwork, all that's involved with it. But ultimately, it is to help build WARSAW football program.
Absolutely. So, how many total kids are involved in the whole program right at this time, approximately?
So, as far as football players, we have 170 football players.
Wow, that's great.
We have 100 cheerleaders.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's great too. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, how many coaches does it take to make that all work?
So, in rookie tackle, each team has 2 to 3 coaches.
Right.
So, and we've got 5 rookie tackle teams this year.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about, in 10 to 15 coaches then?
Yes. Yep. And then we've got 2 of our lower division teams, and each one of those has a head coach and 3 to 4 assistants.
Oh, wow.
And it's the same for our upper.
Right. I should point out there that all these coaches are basically following Coach Curtis's program as far as it goes to what's being taught and that kind of thing.
Correct.
So, the flex bone, we'll see it clear down there in the lower grades.
Oh, yes. Yep. Come down to Fribley Field on a Saturday, and you'll see us running exactly what you see Friday nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you being with us this afternoon and on the Bart Curtis Show. Is there any other messages you want to send out to everybody? Because we got thousands of people that are watching, so not to put any pressure on you, but what do you think?
Well, if you're interested in signing your boy or girl up for Young Tigers, you can visit us at www.youngtigersfootball.com. We have the online registration right there for the parents. It's closed for this season, but February or March of next year, it'll be open back up.
Very good. All right, Coach. Well, thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. We certainly appreciate, speaking as a member of the staff, appreciate all the things that you guys do, giving the kids that kind of experience. And certainly I can attest to it. I've been around here for a while. That experience is invaluable to the kids because obviously it lights the fire of wanting to play football, and we see the results of that up here. So thanks a lot for being with us, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. We'll be back with more of the Bart Curtis Show right after this. Talking now to Coach Andy Owens, who is the president of the Young Tigers Association. Coach, it's a terrible day out of weather, but we're still playing football. Tell everyone a little bit about what's going on out here.
That's right. So what we do at the end of the season is we take all of our 6th graders, we combine them onto one team, and we play 4 games by middle school rules. Just get them used to what they're going to face next year.
Okay, and today we started, there's like 4 teams involved, and it's both today and tomorrow, is that correct?
Correct.
And they'll each play each other, or in a tournament type thing, or what?
Yes, last weekend we played over at Fribley Field. We played Saturday and Sunday last week. and we'll play Saturday and Sunday this week.
Okay. Oh, and this is the end of the season then, Coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. After this, we're done for the year and looking forward to next year.
Yeah. Coach, thanks a lot for everything you guys do. Such an integral part of what we do here in the WARSAW program, and this being the foundational, we all really do appreciate what all you guys do for the Tiger football program. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we got for you in this show, this special edition of the Bart Curtis Show. We'll be back next week of the regular show as we will be squaring off against Chesterton next Friday up at Chesterton. Now, that's scheduled to start at 6:30 their time, which is 7:30 our time, so everyone make their appropriate adjustments as they head up to Chesterton to cheer the Tigers on. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next week.